Hey, what's up? Welcome to 2 Cents Tuesdays with Tupac Shakespeare. We're doing Catch 22. This is one of my more famous poems. I say I hate this poem a lot. um, but I'll explain why I hate it after I perform it. And then I'll do a breakdown of it line by line. Um, Also going into some of my feelings about some of the particular lines. And what I was feeling when I wrote it. This poem got me a lot of notoriety. I shouldn't say I hate it. I really don't. I hate what it's become. I should say that. This poem got me a lot of gigs. And it was a lot of fun in the beginning. It was a lot of fun, and you'll see why. My life has always been this glamorous dilemma, a shining example of Murphy's Law, a collection of catch-22s. For example, to find my glasses, I need my glasses. To get a job, you need experience, but to get experience, you need a job. How about this? To afford a residence, you need a bank account. But to get a bank account, you need a residence? I can't access my email without the Wi-Fi, but in order to get the Wi-Fi, I need my fucking constantly balancing on a scale of damned if I do, damned if I don't, a vicious vice versa where no one truly wins or loses. A catch-22. If your skin is the portrait of midnight caught between tomorrow and today, you too are a catch-22. CNN said we'd be dead by 21, so at 22, you're either a miracle or an accident waiting to happen by the time your arms propel themselves high enough to defy gravity. All submission and white flag, the artist of your demise has already drawn arms ready to sketch you into a tombstone. Hands up, it looks menacing. Hands down, he's reaching for a gun. Catch-22, expecting. Black parents know the struggle of this all too well. Like, what if he looks like me? But what if he looks like me? I can see him pouring his heart out face down in some messy project covered with tape around it. I can see him pouring his heart out face down in some messy project covered with tape around it. He'll play sports. He'll wear my number. He'll be hunted for a sport. They'll give him a number. I'll teach him his rights from wrongs. His pleas, not guilty, your honor, and thank yous. Will he have my jeans or wear the pants in the family? Bodies caught between irony and sarcasm, between moments of silence and being silenced. Why is black and alive a superpower? Or black and educated feel like an oxymoron? You're either too beautiful to be black or too black to be beautiful. Catch-22. But they say black is sexy, right? Sexy enough for Rachel Lizelle to want to try on. Sexy enough to turn the Biebs into a Rasta. Sexy enough to want to try on but never pay full price for. Toe tag price, welfare price, Fisher price, price check when we do it overlooked, but when you do it overvalued. Price match, catch-22. Every move leads to dilemma. Life is a lot like chess. Blacks will always go last. Half of us are pawns anyways. Our kings are not as powerful as we thought. Our queens are more valuable than we ever give them credit for. These priests, preachers, and bishops can always be a little crooked. So in the hood, if you try to be a knight in shining armor, it means you always took an L. So these young boys, these rooks, straight up and down, played the corner. Because after all, aren't we just in this for a check, mate? A fatal paradox, a double-sided coin, this paralyzing conundrum. I'm staring at society. My mirror is perfectly fine. However, I'm staring at something that is clearly broken. Catch-22. So there's the poem. I still got it. I still got a lot of it memorized. Let me go into why I say I hate this poem so much. I hate this poem so much because when I wrote it, for those of you who've been tuning into like the 2 Cents Tuesdays, I've been talking about how I typically write like a DNA strand where like concept 1, concept B, and I have a whole bunch of lines connecting the two, and it's this tightly woven strand because I really explain myself through analogies and parables and metaphors. Um, and that nowadays I'm a bit more of a braid where I can weave multiple concepts in. I didn't always start out like that. I started off with just punchline heavy, and we see this just punchline heavy. I'm punching every single line. I still do that, but I just weave concepts in and just elevate my level of writing. With this, it's just I tell you what the topic is. I'm gonna punch all the way through it. I'm just going like my punch is just gonna be crazy, um, and that's one of the reasons I don't like it because I don't write like that anymore. Right? Two, when this poem is performed at its highest, every line is almost a different character. Right? It's what if he looks like me? But what if he looks like me? And then da 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 and da da, and each line is supposed to be different, and that's exhausting. Um, like I would come off the stage and I'm out of breath almost, and I'm just like I can't keep this up, and like I had to like get it up to that level, because we were going to nationals, um, and then the third reason is this poem blew up, and like people really liked it. People were like, oh, do the Catch 22 poem, do the Catch 22 poem, and for all the other reasons why I didn't like the poem or I was just like apprehensive, like now people just keep asking me to do it, and I'm just known as Catch 22. And like for the longest time, I was like, I have to write something better than this. Um, and it took me a long time to produce something that I thought was better than Catch 22. And even when I eventually did, people just still want to hear Catch 22. And I'm like, that's it. I'm not doing it no more. And people still offer me money to do Catch 22, and I'm just like, I'm not doing it. I just can't. Like, I got something better for you, and you're gonna like that too. Um, But yeah, it's to the point where I perform Catch 22 and the audience performs it with me. Like, oh, he's gonna get to my favorite part, which is fun, but at the same time, like I like that mystery. I like giving the audience something, and I just feel like I don't do that with Catch 22. So we're here for the breakdown of Catch 22. So for those of you who don't know what a catch 22 is, a catch 22 is when you do something, um, and you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? Like you're stuck in this lose-lose scenario. Um, and so, like, I'm saying that, like, my life has always been this glamorous dilemma, right? Like, I'm black. It's lose-lose scenario, you know? And just, if you didn't get that, that's really what it's about. So like my life has always been this glamorous dilemma, the shining example of Murphy's Law, a catch 22. And then I go through a series of catch 22. So I'm like, to find my glasses, I need my glasses. For those of you who don't know, I used to wear glasses up until grade 6. Thank God my eyes corrected. I no longer need glasses. I'm good. I'm good. But I go through these catch 22s. So I'm like, to find my glasses, I need my glasses. To get a job, you need experience. But to get experience, you need a job. To get a residence, you need a bank account. To get a bank account, you need a residence. Like, I can't afford a house. That's why I need the bank account. But, like, you know. And then the Wi-Fi email one is, no one really gets it. But we're at a hotel. And then they're like, we emailed you the Wi-Fi password. I'm like, I need I need the Wi-Fi to get into my email. So it was funny, and so we put that in there. And then I go constantly balancing on a scale of damned if I do's, damned if I don't. A vicious vice versa. A little alliteration right there. Where no one truly wins or loses. A catch 22. All right, so now I'm just setting it up a little bit. So I'm like, okay, this whole thing is really a punchline. So like, gotta make sure I hammer home my theme so people know what I'm talking about. So it's not just random punchlines. And then this might be my favorite line of this poem. I say, if your skin is a portrait of midnight, caught between tomorrow and today, you too are catch 22. So what I'm saying with that line is like, if your skin is a portrait of midnight is caught between tomorrow and today, which is it's midnight, 12. But midnight's also black. So if your skin is midnight, like black, caught between tomorrow and today, You two are catch 22. And also black people often feel displaced in time between like their past and like what's going. Anyhow, the layers, there are layers to this, the levels to this. You know what I'm saying? And then I say CNN said we'd be dead by 21, so at 22. Now I'm just again going with that 22. So you're either a miracle or an accident waiting to happen. So what I'm also doing with this is I'm just going on both ends of the spectrum and saying that we're really both ends of the spectrum. And I really like those two lines and the way they sit with each other. CNN said we'd be dead by 20. No, actually, let me bring it back. If your skin is the portrait of midnight caught between tomorrow and today, you two are catch 22. CNN said we'd be dead by 21. So at 22, you're either a miracle or an accident waiting to happen. Whew. That speaks for itself. And then by the time your arms propel themselves high enough to defy gravity, so that's just like, hey, don't shoot. The artist of your demise has already, like the artist of your demise has already drawn arms ready to sketch you into a tombstone. So now I'm just playing with words, right? When someone draws arms and like trying to shoot you, but ready to sketch you into a tombstone, and the artist of your demise has drawn arms, ready to sketch you into a tombstone. Like that's just, it's just wordplay. And again, like going with the artist of your demise, linking that through word association to drawn arms, which is something that they do to sketch you into a tombstone. Because I have that line set up, I can do the sketch you into the tombstone. Otherwise, that just doesn't make too much sense. And when I say hands up, it looks menacing. Hands down, he's reaching for a gun, catch 22. So like when we put our hands up, it's just like, oh my god, there's this big black guy with all his, like, his hands are in the air and then hands down. So I'm again outlining these catch 22s. Then I go into this portion. So expecting black parents know the gravity of this situation all too well. So again, I'm still attacking it from both sides of the spectrum. I'm saying, what if he looks like me, right? Like everyone wants their babies to look like them, but like I also have the, because I look this way, I have the added pressure of, you know, what if my son really looks like me? Like, you know what I'm saying? What if he's a big black guy? I shouldn't say I'm a big black guy. I'm 5'8 3/4. I'm average height. But what if he's a black guy? You know what I'm saying? What if he looks like me? Some people think I look menacing. I don't. I'm really approachable. But what if he looks like me? Like, what happens then, right? And then this is my pen working, so I can see him face down in some messy project, pouring his heart out, covered with tape around it. Right? So like, you know, little kids have some messy art projects. He's pouring his heart out, you know, with his messy project covered with tape around it. But at the same time, I take that, I flip it, like I can see him like, you know, dead, like pouring his heart out, face down, like in some messy project covered with tape around it. Like they got him, like someone shot him, right? So like giving this duality to this sentence, and then I continue to do that. This whole thing's about duality, and then catch-22 is a duality of losses. So I can teach him how to play sports. He could wear my number. That's always a dream of mine as a father. Like have my son or daughter wear my number. Like that'd be cool. And then I'm like flip that again, saying he'll be hunted for a sport. They'll give him a number, right? Prisons also institute like the prison number and stuff like that. You'll be treated like just a number or a statistic. I'll teach him know his rights from wrongs. So rights, you know, just like you have the right to remain, whatever. From wrongs, again, a little wordplay. His pleas, not guilty, your honor. So it's like please and thank you, but like please, like not guilty, and thank yous. And then like, will he have my genes or wear the pants in the family? So like, will he have like my tendencies? and really like where it just again we're still playing with words at this point and just messing with dualities, and then bodies caught between irony and sarcasm. So like um, that line just has a lot of mystery. I don't even remember what I really meant by it, but like hearing it, it just feels like I feel it. Like some things, like what's understood ain't got to be explained. I just feel it. Um, between being silenced and moments of silence, right? I think that's a powerful line as well. So, like I said, I'm punching every line, and these are gut punches. Um, so being silenced, black bodies were often pigeonholed, told to shut up, shut up and dribble, do these things, and then moments of silence were often killed. Um, why does black and alive feel like a superpower, or black and educated feel like an oxymoron? Self-explanatory. Like these things shouldn't be. They should be normal. And then this one I often get. I wrote this for the sisters. Like sisters always often experience colorism and shadism in a variety of different ways. And like people are going, oh, you're too beautiful to be black, or you're too black to be beautiful. Now I'm messing with that duality, right? Like, oh, I can't be beautiful and black, right? Like I can't be both. Like you're either one or the other, which I think is foolish. I think my sister is a dark skinned black woman. She's gorgeous, and I think tons of dark skinned black women are gorgeous. And I hate this shadism that we do with our sisters. And we go like, oh no, you're too dark. You're pretty for a dark skinned girl. Like that's foolishness. We should stop that. Stop that. Leave it. Throw that out. So I put that in his phone, and then I go into the but black is sexy, right? Um, Sexy enough for Rachel Dolezal to want to try on, sexy enough to turn the Beebs into a Rasta. So I'm saying like at the same time you hate us for this black culture, but the duality comes in. Woo, y'all be loving this culture. Right? Y'all be wanting to try it on. Y'all be wanting to like appropriate it. That's why I say sexy enough to want to try on, but never pay full price for. Toe tag price, like the price of like we die for this culture. Welfare price, like we're often at the bottom of the socioeconomic status and the Fisher price. That had a meaning, but like it's been 4 years, so like forgive me. And then price check, when we do it, overlooked, but when you do it, overvalued. So like a lot of the times, like stuff we do is obviously as ghetto, but like when y'all put on your boxer braids or whatever, like it's just, I shouldn't say y'all, but like when people put on like do things that are typically black culture, and like they're like, oh, this is high fashion, this is you know mini buns. I'm like, no, that's bantu. Like anyhow, and I say catch 22. And I say every move leads to a dilemma. Life is a lot like chess. Blacks will always go last. On chess, the white piece goes first. Half of us are pawns, so like if you play chess, the half of the 16 pieces you have are pawns, and the pawns, they're easily killed and dismissed, and they're often made for sacrifices and stuff like that. So half of us are pawns. Our kings aren't as powerful as we thought. So that's, I'm speaking to men. A lot of people thought I was like, oh, Martin Luther King. I was like, nah, he powerful. We gonna leave him alone. He's not to be messed with. But yeah, our queens are more valuable than we ever give credit for. So again, I'm paying homage to our sisters. Priests, preachers, and bishops can always be a little crooked. So those who take the word of God and just like make a profit off of it, and by taking advantage of people, those people are crooked. So I'm again playing on the bishop. The bishop is the piece in chess that moves diagonally, so it's crooked. So in the hood, if you try to be a knight in shining armor, it means you always took an L. So the knight in chess takes an L shape. And then so these young boys, these rooks straight up and down play the corner. So the rook goes vertically, like it's straight up and down, or like side to side. But like, so that's why I say they straight up and down play the corner, because the rook is also on the corner of the board. Um, and I say, because after all, aren't we just in this for a checkmate? So at the end of chess, you get a checkmate. So I'm like, after all, aren't we just in this for a checkmate? Like, we're playing this game for the checkmate and like the check like money. And then I end the poem off with just like this fatal paradox, the double-sided coin. So again, I'm doing the dualities and letting you know that it's looking grim for us. This polarizing conundrum, staring at society, my mirror is perfectly fine, but somehow I catch myself staring at something that is clearly broken. I catch 22. Yeah, and that's the poem. Also, another reason why I don't like the poem is that chess piece was actually written for another poem. It's separate. And like some of the pieces got Frankensteined into this poem because I was writing punchlines that were so general it could go for anything. But I engineered it and made it work in a way that like fit this poem beautifully. But yeah, that's why I hate the poem. And but I don't hate the poem. I really don't. It's reading back, it's fire, and I'm so excited. But yeah, I don't hate this poem. Thank you for helping me find my love for this poem, but you will probably never hear this poem again. Thank y'all so much. It's been another 2 Cents Tuesdays with Tupac Shakespeare.